In the previous video sessions, we have discussed about direct manipulation systems. So now let us see what is indirect manipulation system. Okay. So here, in practice, direct manipulations of all the screen objects and actions may not be feasible because of some of the reasons. So let us see what are the reasons here. Okay. The operation may be difficult to conceptualize. So this is one of the reason why we go for indirect manipulation. So first point here is operation may be difficult to conceptualize. So operations may be anything it may be, okay, but it is difficult to conceptualize in the in your system, okay. And next point is the graphics capability of the system may be limited. So you cannot uh, show every icons on the system. So there may be certain system limitations, okay. So that's why the graphics capability of the system may be limited. So this is another reason why we go for indirect manipulation. And the space available, the amount of space available for placing the manipulation controls in the window border may be limited. See, for example, you say here, you take an example of see your mobile, okay, mobile applications. You are going to see many icons there, okay, and in the desktop systems, you may be seeing uh, similar kind of icons. But in desktop systems, you can work with entire window, okay. You can drag and drop certain folders as you wish. But this kind of display functionals or the operations, the drag and drop options may not be that easy in case of your small devices, is it? The space available that is for placing the manipulation controls in the window border may be limited, okay. And also one more reason is it may be difficult for the people to learn and remember all the necessary operations and actions. So that is one more reason why we go for indirect manipulation. So there are mainly 4 points here, remember that, 4 main points: first, second, third and fourth point. And next, let us see what is exactly the indirect manipulation means. Indirect manipulation substitutes words and text, and we have pull down menus and pop-up menus. In replacement of word and text, we have pull down and pop-up menus. The menu itself, however, is a textual list of operations, okay. And see here the example of indirect manipulation. Let me take here. See here, you may see a particular folders like this, that is view, server, channel and navigation. So there may be different folders that is presented on your window screen. Similarly, those folders can also be accessed through menus or drop down options, is it? So here server has got certain more operations here, that is disconnect, channel list, change nickname, add server, duplicate server, add channel, like this, okay. So there are a few more options here, okay. So if you want to access this add server operation, you have to go first for the server, is it? Then you can go for this. Similarly, for example, you take a PPT, general PPT window, where you have a save option. Maybe at the side of the window, you may see a save option. Okay, say save can be directly done using that icon. Okay, or icon which is present on the screen. Or else, what you have to do, you have to go for the file, that is menu. You may there will be a menu where it is being displayed that it is having a file, okay, file. Then you go for save as or save, okay, like a drop down options you may get there, okay. So that is indirect manipulations. Directly, instead of going directly and saving the particular content, okay, that is using the icons, you can go through certain pull down or pop-up menus, and then you can operate the window as you need. So that is indirect manipulation. Most of the Windows systems nowadays are combination of both direct manipulation and indirect manipulation. A menu can be accessed by pointing at a menu icon and then selecting it, or the menu itself is a textual list of operations. So that means here, for example, you say you want to zoom in or zoom out the contents of the screen. Okay, you have two methods. You can go for direct manipulation or indirect manipulation. Direct manipulation, when you can do that is, you may see, if you are using a PPT for example, you may see uh, a zoom in and zoom out option in the uh, lower right corner of your screen. Is it? So that is directly you can manipulate the window as you need. Hmm? Zoom in or zoom out option is available there. Or else what you have to do, you have to go for in the PPT mainly, you say there is a menu list, okay, provided. Okay, you have to go for view operation, that will be displayed above the screen normally. Okay, view operation, and then in the view you may get a zoom operation, zoom in or zoom out. So that is called indirect manipulation. So there are nowadays we have the systems with the combination of direct manipulation and indirect manipulations. Similarly, you can see here an example which shows. So for first example, if you are seeing here, it has got a drop down menu list. Okay, so you want to add a server, so that can be done using the menu drop down menu, and add server operations can be done easily. So this kind, the first kind of image what you are seeing is an example for the indirect manipulation. Another kind, for the same example, you can give a direct manipulations. Okay, direct manipulation is being done when you have direct ad server operations that will be displayed on the screen. Okay, without going for the menu list directly, if you are getting an option for adding servers, then we call it as a direct manipulation. So but this example is showing the indirect manipulation system. And next example, the second kind, you have a person is interacting with an mobile screen. Okay, he wants to do certain zoom out operation. Okay, zoom out operation can be done as a direct manipulated system. Okay, that is, so example for zoom out is an example where you are going to touch the screen and directly you are manipulating the object on the screen. Okay, that is example for directly manipulating the object here. Okay, example for direct manipulation system. So let us go for studying about advantages and disadvantages of graphical systems. So let us move on to advantages first. Okay, so what are the advantages here? So there are several advantages, maybe about 20 points you have. The first point is here, the symbols recognized faster than text. Symbols are recognized faster than text. So this is the first advantages. So when you see a screen, for example, here you have a mobile screen where you are going to recognize the symbols here. So different symbols you have. Maybe for a message, you see a postcard like a structure, is it? So you recognize that very in a fast manner. And see here the Facebook. Facebook has got its own symbol. Symbols are recognized fast than text. So here what that means, research has found that symbols can be recognized faster and more accurately than text, and that the graphical attributes of icons such as shape and color are very useful for quickly classifying the objects, elements or text by some common property. For example, a text of an informational message is preceded by I in a circle, a warning message by an exclamation point, a critical message by another unique symbol. So these icons allow speed speedy recognition of the type of the message being presented. So whenever a user views certain icons, he has to know what is the functionality of that particular icon. Okay, so that's why they usually in the graphical systems they use symbols so that the user can recognize the symbols very fast. Keeping in mind that he can recognize the symbol very fast, they have all the icons are now being used with the symbols, certain symbols. Maybe F here, Facebook, it represents Facebook, and you have Twitter with certain bird symbol here. Okay, and music, whenever you have a music icon, there will be a headphone. Okay, so this all these kind of representations are used for faster recognition and faster learning. Second point you have spatial learning. Okay, research also has found that graphical pictorial representations aids learning, and symbols can also be learned very easily. Okay, so based on the research, they have found that the graphical and pictorial representations are very easy for learning. And next point is faster use and problem solving. Okay, symbols have also been found to be effective in conveying simple instructions. Okay, so as you know, you say here, for example, uh, for any kind of problem solving, okay, they go for graphical method of representation. Maybe you say a graph which is showing COVID-19 details. Okay, you can understand it very easily if there is a line graph or a bar chart. Hmm. So why they go for such method? Okay, to convey the simple instructions for the users in a very simple manner. And next you have uh, easier remembering. Because of greater simplicity, it is easier for the casual users to retain the operational concepts. Okay, so if you see the icons, you can easily remember the operation concepts. Okay, next point is more natural. The next advantage is more natural. That means uh, usually in human beings, actions and visual skills emerge before languages. Actions and visual skills. Huh? We have learnt visual skills first, actions first. Huh? Then we have learnt certain languages. Hmm? When a child learns, he maybe at the age of 3 or 4 years, they learn actions and visual skills very easily. Okay, later they learn certain languages. Okay, it has also been suggested that symbolic displays are more natural and advantageous because human mind has a powerful image memory. So if you see an object, okay, if you see an object, if you see an image there, okay, you will remember it very easily. It's more natural concept you have here. So that's why usually graphical systems they use images to represent any operation. Next you have exploits visual or spatial cues. Visually thinking is believed to be better than logical thinking. Okay, spatial relationships are usually found to be understood more quickly than verbal representations. Okay, so we usually learn verbal representations very easily. So that's why visually thinking is believed to be better than logical thinking. The next point, uh, next advantage you have here, that is it fosters more concrete thinking. Okay, displayed objects are directly in high level task domain or directly usable in the presented form. There is no need of mentally to decompose the tasks into multiple commands. So that means here all the commands whatever you want to perform, okay, instead of typing the commands continuously, all the operations, commands in the sense you will be performing certain operations under that, is it? So all the operations are combined together and they form into an icon. Okay, so there is no need to mentally to decompose the task into multiple commands with complex syntactic form. Okay, it provides context, providing a picture for the current context. Next point, this is provides context is the next point. Okay, the graphical systems, so that means provides context means the displayed objects are visible and it provides a picture of the current context on the screen. And next point is fewer errors. Uh, More concrete thinking affords fewer errors. That means here every task whatever you perform on the graphical systems are reversible. Okay, reversibility of actions reduces the error rates. Okay, so you can do undo operations. Okay, due to this error messages are less frequently performed on the graphical systems. And next you have increased feeling of control. The user initiates actions and feels in control. So whenever say you have a graphical system on the mobile, okay, you initiate an action. Maybe you say you are performing a zoom in or zoom out action, zoom out operation, and you feel that you are controlling the complete system. So due to this, there will be the user confidence will be increased. And next point is immediate feedback. Uh, the results of the actions furthering user goals can be seen immediately. Okay, there will be immediate action from the system. Learning is quickened due to this. If the response is not in the desired direction, the direction can be also changed quickly. Okay, so as you need, you are going to control the complete system because the manipulation, the term itself says that you have a control on the system completely. So as you need, if you don't see that you are going into a desired direction, you can change the directions very immediately. So you get a immediate feedback from the system. And next point is predictable system responses. Predictable system responses also helps in speed learning. Okay, speed learning of the contents that is displayed on the screen. And next you have easily reversible actions. User has more control on the screen and this ability to reverse unwanted actions also increases the user confidence here. Less, the next point is 14th point. This is less anxiety concerning use. So some users may be hesitant to use certain applications. So hesitant or new users feel less anxiety when using the system because it is easily comprehended, it is easy to control and has predictable responses and reversible actions. So that means the user categories, maybe the users of the graphical systems are not only the programmers, there will be also certain non-programmers, is it? Non-programmers also use the graphical systems. So there you think that it will be easy for a programmer to interact with the device, but what about the non-programmers? There will be different categories of people, those who are using a graphical system. Maybe the small children they use the system, as well as people who are older than 60 years old. They use the graphical system. But the system has to make them comfortable. There should not be any hesitant users. They should feel less anxiety when using the particular system. Okay, so that is helpful. So graphical system help users to have less anxiety. And next thing is more attractive. Direct manipulation systems are more entertaining, cleverer, and more appealing. So as you know, direct manipulation systems nowadays are used in gaming world. Gaming tools they use to interact with the uh, particular system. Gaming applications. they feel every user who is going to use certain applications, gaming applications, they feel very attractive. The graphical systems, or whatever the icons or how it is being displayed, everything attracts the people. So, for example, you say Byju's app. Okay, they have good interacting style. Okay, the icons will be displayed first, and then children feel like interacting with the system. Okay, they are very attractive to see. So the next one is may consume less space. Icons may take less space than the equivalent in words. Suppose if you type an word, it may take uh, about half of your screen space, if you are saying. Hmm? But if you are using the icon, it takes less space on the screen. Okay, more information can often be packed in a given area on the screen. And next point is it replaces national languages. Language-based systems are universally applicable. Language translations also frequently cause problems in text-based systems. So nowadays uh, we can interact with any kind of language with the systems. Okay, when English is always used by default, but the other national languages also can be translated using the system. Okay, the system can easily understand any kind of languages nowadays, and the 18th point is easily augmented with text displays. Where graphical design limitations exist, direct manipulation systems can easily be augmented with the text displays. Okay, but the reverse is not true. Okay, you say that, that means that direct manipulation systems can be easily augmented with text displays, but the reverse thing, that is text displays cannot be augmented with the direct manipulation systems. Um, So that is the point here. And next last point, you have the 19th point, low typing requirements. Pointing and selection controls such as mouse or trackball eliminate the need for typing skills. So now let us see what are the disadvantages of graphical user interfaces. The first point is greater design complexity. Controls and basic alternatives must be chosen from a pile of choices. Choices must be thoughtfully selected. Okay, the elements and techniques available to the graphical screen designer actually are more in number than the text-based screen designers nowadays. So that's why the proper window types must be chosen, and the colors also has to be selected from a number of alternatives. Maybe you have lots of colors. Hmm? Selecting a color itself may be a very difficult task for the programmers. One thing. Okay, what kind of display will be uh, it will run in the market, that has to be all thought by the developer. So it leads to greater design complexity. And next point is learning still is necessary. uh, First time when the when one user encounters any graphical system, what to do is immediately obvious. The meanings of the many words and icons may not be known to the user initially. Okay, so it takes so guessing their meanings also will take a lot of time. And how to use a pointing device, maybe they use a mouse, they may not be the users may not be familiar with the pointing device they are using. Okay, they have to learn it first. Uh, so everything takes time there, learning the words and icons and pointing devices, how to use the pointing devices, that also takes time. Hmm? System providers estimate that becoming accustomed to graphical user interface should require about 8 hours of training. Okay, some other experts say that learning time is closer to 20 or 30 hours also. Okay, so that means that learning the graphical system itself takes lot of time. Hmm. The third point is lack of experimentally derived design guidelines. Hmm. Graphical interface is still burdened today by the lack of widely available experimentally derived design guidelines. So there is no certain proper guidelines for building a graphical user interface. So that itself is a main drawback here. Hmm. Today, studies being performed in usability laboratories are being rarely published. This occurs due to many of the reasons. The first reason is builders of platforms and packages will not publish their study results because they want to maintain a competitive advantage. And the other reason is they think that if they are going to correct certain mistakes whatever the user interface is having, okay, then it may lead to a different competition among the organizations, and that's why they simply keep quiet and they repeat the same mistakes again and again. And the next point is that studies are often specific to particular function or task. They may not be generally applicable for every task. Okay, maybe you say a ATM application, so they design a particular um, they do a lot of studies to develop a graphical user interface for a ATM machine. Okay, but the functions whatever they apply for a functioning of a ATM machine may not be applicable for other projects or other applications. So it may not be generally applicable for every kind of applications. The next thing is the time and effort to publish something. The developers in the today's office seldom has less time. Hmm? So they think that the one more reason is because of time. They do, time less time of the uh, developers. Okay, they are not going to develop the or there will be a lack of experimentality in the organizations. And finally, it is difficult to develop studies evaluating the design alternatives because of increased UGI complexity. Okay, and the fourth point is inconsistencies in technique and terminology. Hmm. Many differences in technique and terminology and look and feel exist among the various graphical system providers and even among successive versions of the same system. Okay, these inconsistencies occur because of copyright and legal implications. Uh, Product differentiations are also being considered. And this results in learning and relearning for both designers and users and it will be very much difficult for both of them. Okay, both of the communities, maybe designers as well as users. For example, you say you had earlier version of Windows XP and it had got different graphical user interface. Nowadays we have using the Windows 10. Okay, the Windows 10 look and feel is totally different when you compare it with the Windows XP. Okay, so here graphical designers also have to learn about the system very deeply, and also the users, the community users. Okay, uh, the users means the system users. They also feel more difficult when you change the icons every year. Hmm? So, for example, Facebook has got its own icon. Hmm? Suppose after a few days they change the icon and they give it in a different manner. People may not be adjusted to that particular icon and they may feel it difficult to learn the application, or uh, they may not uh, feel very easy to uh, recognize that icon when they are using. Hmm? So that is one more point to be noted here. That means inconsistencies in technique and also terminologies. Hmm. And the next point is not always similar, familiar. Symbolic representations may not be familiar as words or numbers. Next disadvantage is human comprehension limitations. Human limitations may also exist in terms of one's ability to deal with the increased complexity of the graphical interface. The variety of visual displays can still be challenging for most of the sophisticated users. The number of different icons that can be introduced is also restricted because of the limitations of human comprehension. Studies continuously find that the number of different symbols a person can differentiate and deal with is much more limited than the text. Okay, so there is a lot of human comprehension limitations. That means here, when icon is being used, okay, human has to understand that icon. Hmm? He has to differentiate that icon with the other icon that is being used on the same system. Hmm. So that is the one more point to be noted here. The motor skills required may also challenge all but most of the sophisticated users. Sometimes the normal user may find difficult in double clicking the mouse, okay, for some of the users. So that is also motor skills also has to be understood when you develop a particular graphical user interface. And next thing is window manipulation requirements is one more disadvantage. Window handling and manipulation times are still excessive and repetitive. That window manipulation wastes a lot of time and interrupts the decision making needed to perform any tasks and jobs. And the next point is production limitations. The number of symbols that are clearly produced using today's technology is still limited. The next point you have, it's one more disadvantage. Few tested icons exist. Okay. Uh, so icon must, when they develop an icon must be researched, designed, tested, and then introduced in the marketplace. Okay, so if there is improper design, there will be confusion and lot of lower productivity for the users. And next disadvantage is inefficient for touch typists. For an experienced touch typist, the keyboard is very fast and powerful device. Moving a mouse or some other pointing mechanism may also be slower for few of the users. Okay. So that means some users may find easy to type type the keyboard, and some users may be familiar in using the mouse. Hmm. And also next point is inefficient for expert users. Inefficiencies develop when there are lot of objects and actions that can fit on the screen. Hmm. Concatenation for a command language is impossible. And next point you have not always preferred style of interaction. Not all users prefer pure iconic interface. There are a lot of users who like to have textual captions in the screen. Okay. And next point is not always fastest style of interaction. Another study has found that graphics instructions on an automated bank teller machine were inferior to textual instructions. Okay, so you don't think that always if you are using iconic style of interaction, it will be very fast. Some prefer to have the textual kind of interaction that will be very fast. Hmm? And it may consume more screen space. Not all applications will consume less screen space. A listing of names and telephone numbers in textual format will be more efficient to scan than a card life. And there are certain hardware limitations also. Good design also requires hardware of adequate power, processing speed, screen resolutions, and graphical capabilities. Insufficiencies in this area can prevent the graphic systems to full potential from being released. So these are the different advantages and disadvantages of graphical user system.